Joining me now is Congressman Ryan. You were certainly up late, so welcome. I'm glad to have you this morning.
Thank you.
You were up on stage with 9 other colleagues. It was a crowded house, but you had a very different message there amidst 2 hours of overwhelmingly progressive messaging. And you said the Democratic candidate needs to pay attention to the whole country.
Yeah.
What did Ohio voters, who you know best, what did they hear?
I think there was a lot of going over their head. Who's talking about my wages? I mean, did we hear anything about wages last night? You know, we heard about raising taxes. We heard about, which a lot of us are for a lot of these things, but you've got to talk to the worker and the family that's struggling day to day. They're not talking about Trump. They're not talking about all these policies. They want to know you care about them. And that's my fear, is that we're walking down a road of, we're going to take your insurance away from you if you have health insurance. We don't understand your day-to-day activities and stresses and anxieties. And if we miss that, that's how Trump got in the first place. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Look, we just did this. And if we do it again, he's going to win again.
Okay, well, he won last time not talking about policy. He doesn't currently govern focused on policy. But last night, for all of you, it was policy focused.
Yeah.
And that is how you won the midterms. So what's the right combination?
Well, I think we won the midterms because our candidates in a lot of those races were talking about lunch bucket issues. Sherrod Brown won Ohio. We're talking about the dignity of work. The candidates, the 30 or 40 candidates that won for us to get us the majority, they were talking about lunch bucket issues. Someone gave me some really good advice when I first started politics. They said, nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. And I don't think that the working class people know that we care about them right now, and so they don't care about our policies.
So the people in Ohio who might not like the president's policies, they might not like his motivation, they like the idea of America first. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's what Democrats are giving them?
Well, no. I mean, our message is muddled. Of course we want America first, and because that means they're first, that means their family is first, that means you're going to put them first. And if we don't connect with that emotion, there's not going to be any policy. And that's what I was trying to say. If we, how are you going to beat Mitch McConnell? How are you going to win the Senate back? How are you going to win a Senate seat in Iowa? How are you going to win a Senate seat in North Carolina? How are you going to win a Senate seat? You want to go down and play in Georgia and play in Florida and play in Kansas. You want to play in Iowa. Those are lunch bucket communities.
Okay, but then last night was your shot.
Yeah.
Why not take a shot at Elizabeth Warren and say, how are you going to pay for that? You are going to rock this system and reelect the president. Why not do that? You had a moment. You had 2 hours.
Yeah, well, I had 7 minutes. And I stood up there and called out coastal elites and Ivy Leagues. I mean, I couldn't have been more direct than really a lot of people on the stage. And look, I like everybody. This is not like a personal thing. It's just like the perception of our party is coastal and Ivy League. And I called that out, and I was the only one who did it, and I'm going to continue to do it, and hopefully we'll continue to get traction. You're
obviously running for president, but you're also a sitting member of Congress. There wasn't much talk about impeachment last night.
No.
Is Nancy Pelosi's current calculus, let's forego impeachment and beat Trump at the ballot box?
It looks that way, but is
not a look, you're in it, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's how it is now. I don't know if that's her long-term strategy. Mueller's testifying now. We're going to see what he has to say. Will that move the needle or not? I think Speaker Pelosi is wanting to see if the country's going to come along and understand why we need to do this. But the reality is, people in places like Ohio, they're not paying much attention to this. That's the problem.
Do you feel like you got a fair shake and you put your best foot forward? There are many people who are saying this isn't anything but Trump. We simply need to defeat the president. And last night, Cory Booker got 11 minutes. You only got 7.
Yeah.
Do you think you showed America the right stuff to knock him out?
Yeah, I think so. I think we got the message out. People know a lot.
We, you or Democrats?
I think I did. And I think I got the point across that I'm the person who can go into the industrial Midwest and broaden the map for us to have a 50-state strategy. And I wasn't just talking about white working class people. I made it very clear that we're talking about workers, white, black, brown, gay, straight, men, women, north, south, farmers and factory workers. To me, that's the coalition. If we can put that together, you can literally go to Kentucky and take McConnell out. He is underwater. But if we go down there with, we're going to take your health insurance away from you, look, we need to expand health insurance. Everybody needs it. It needs to be affordable, accessible. We need to help you pay for it. But if the leader of our party is saying we're taking your private health insurance away from you, we're toast. And I hate to be that frank, but that's the reality of it.
Last night, you did not weigh in on the opioid crisis. That's something you know well, given the state of Ohio. Was that a missed opportunity for you?
Yeah. I kept trying. It was about healthcare. I kept trying to get in. And in that first hour, it was really tough. I mean, I got most of my minutes in the second hour. And to me, it was unfair because I'm at the epicenter of the opiate crisis. You'd think you'd want to ask somebody from Ohio, hey, what do you think about the opiate crisis? And that's a huge issue. Again, going into a lot of these states, when I travel in Iowa, one of the big issues there, methamphetamine. They've got a drug issue too there. And so, connecting with somebody who's actually in the foxhole with the opiate epidemic, I thought would have been important.
You did not have a chance to weigh in on opioids. You did, however, have a moment back and forth that's getting a lot of attention today between you and Tulsi Gabbard regarding 9/11 and our troops still being in Afghanistan. Let's take a look.
We must be engaged in this. We must have our State Department engaged. We must have our military engaged to the extent they need to be. But the reality of it is this president doesn't even have people appointed in the State Department to deal with these things, whether we're talking about Central America, whether we're talking about Iran, whether we're talking about Afghanistan. We've got to be completely engaged.
Is that what you will tell the parents of those 2 soldiers who were just killed in Afghanistan? Well, we just have to be engaged. As a soldier, I will tell you that answer is unacceptable. We have to bring our troops home from Afghanistan.
What do you think about that? Do you think you gave an acceptable answer?
Yeah.
I mean, that was a back and forth. People had to expect.
Yeah. I think Tulsi was trying to make news and trying to get in and get a shot, and she did. But she's wrong. I mean, the reality of it is we are for bringing people back home, but the Taliban housed Al Qaeda. And that's a mistake. And so while we can bring people home, we need to have some presence there so they don't plan another attack against us. And I think, again, going into the general election saying we're not going to be firm on terrorism and we're not going to break up terrorist networks, I think is a big mistake.
Were you simply trying to say we got to go after the bad guys?
Yeah. Well, and prevent them from organizing. And quite frankly, I don't think she's shown really good judgment. I mean, she's met with Assad after he gassed young kids, which to me is a war crime. And she's meeting with him, so I think
her. Why didn't you say that last night?
Well, I tried to get back in, but it was
okay,
so.
That was your moment, dude.
It was so hard. Were you watching how hard it was to break through?
I was watching. And you know what? President Trump plays kung fu jiu-jitsu in a game that no one else can, and you got to take your time on that stage to say, I can take down this person who plays a different game. That was the message you could have hit her with.
Yeah. Well, we are now, but we're going to do it again. And hopefully we'll have another chance in July.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.